everybody, it's Sarah, and it's time for our live video chat. I'm so happy today. If you can see, I've got my snowman hat on, I've got my snowman shirt on, and I've got my snowman mug. I'm in a snowman mood. I love cardinals at Christmas time, but my second favorite thing is snowmen. And the other day, my granddaughter, who's 6, and I were at Walmart, and I already had the snowman hat, and the snowman hat, and then I already had the snowman sweater, and we saw these cute little mugs, and so we each had to get one. Isn't that cute? And look, he's holding a mug of coffee. He's actually holding some hot chocolate. It came with a couple of packs of hot chocolate. But I'm going with coffee, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, good morning, everybody. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this video is live on Facebook over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page. And we try to do this every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, you're watching it from the replay from Facebook. For right now, we're going to be doing the live videos on Facebook, and I'm hoping eventually to have the equipment to be able to simultaneously do both. I have wonderful friends on Facebook, and I have wonderful friends on YouTube, and I want to be able, all of you, to be a part of our live videos. I see a whole bunch of you have already clicked in. Stacy and Carol, Nicole and Marlene, and Nicole and Crystal and Karst. Is that how you say that? What a pretty name. Karen, Alicia, Crystal, Dana, Jeannie, Esther, Ruby, Leslie, Tina Louise, Heather, Leslie. I got most of you. The comments are moving pretty fast today. Well, anyway, I'm so glad that you're all here. Now, I got a couple of questions that we're going to answer, and then we'll talk about our new stuff going on this week. Well, I got an email this week. A wonderful lady asked me, and it was so funny because I got a comment on YouTube, I got an email, and then I also got 2 different messages on my Posh Pooch Designs page asking me similar questions. And the one question that I was asked, and I never thought about it and I've never done it, but they asked if you can put iron-on patches on crochet. Well, my first inclination is no way. If you iron on acrylic, we all know acrylic burns. But I got to talking with some of my other crochet designers I'm in a group with and asking them, what's your opinion? What do you think about this? And so I'm going to click down here because there's a couple of different things we can talk about this particular subject. There are several different kinds of iron-ons, of course. This is your basic that has like the plastic on the back that you just iron on. This is one of my husband's leftover flags from when he was in the Air Force, and I just kept it because I wanted to. And then there's these kind that are called iron-on transfers, and you can see it's got the sticky on the back, and then you iron it on and peel off the paper. And if you iron on acrylic yarn, it will burn. Acrylic, that's why we try not to make hot pads and pot holders or anything hot right out of the oven. We try not to put those on acrylic yarn. But if you're making something out of 100% cotton, you probably can go ahead and use the iron-on if you follow the instructions. And something that I used to do when I used to iron my husband's flags and other patches onto his uniforms is I would use a piece of what's called cheesecloth, and I would put that cheesecloth down, but you can use any kind of a thin cotton fabric. You would iron the area, let me move that, you'd iron the area where you're going to iron, then you'd put this cheesecloth down and you'd iron it till it's nice and hot. You move the cheesecloth and then you set the patch down, you put the cheesecloth back down, and then you can iron it again. But we have to remember that those uniforms were made out of sturdy, durable fabrics, not acrylic yarns. Okay, so these I would never do on acrylic, but I might try that on cotton. And like I said, I have never done it this way. A few years ago, someone purchased a hat from me and wanted a patch sewed on it. And she sent me a patch that was made similar to this one. It had the plastic on the back, and it had this sort of a trim on the edge. And it wasn't a flag. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was one of the high schools in the area. It might have been a Broken Arrow High School patch. I used to live in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, and one of the big schools there is Broken Arrow High School. Okay, so what I did is I took some thread, not yarn, that was similar to the edge, and I whip stitched it around, all the way around, just using the thread and needle to sew around, using thread, not yarn, that matched on the hat. The problem with that is that once she washed it, the hat stretched a little and the patch didn't, and it kind of puckered. And so I took it back off and reapplied it. And so that's something to keep in mind. This is my advice. Never, ever, ever, ever iron on your acrylic yarn, because it will burn and it will get all crusty and hard, and it will just not work right. And the sticky on the back of these gets really hot. That's the purpose of it, because it's going to stay on the fabric. All right. If you feel the need to attach a pre-made patch onto your acrylic scarf, hat, whatever you're making, go ahead and sew the edges on so that the yarn matches those edges, and then it will stay pretty good. But remember, once it's washed, the hat might stretch a little, and that patch, it's not going to move with the hat. That is my advice. If you're making something that is made out of 100% cotton, that might be okay. But I don't know, because I've not tried it. So this is what I want you to do. If you feel the need to add an iron-on patch to crochet, or you have in the past, let me know what worked for you and what didn't work. Because it's something I hadn't really thought about that much. And then I remembered that hat that I did for the lady. Oh, it wasn't Broken Arrow High School, it was Union High School. I remember now, because their symbol was the Redskins, and it was the symbol of the Indian. And the only reason I remember is because it had like an odd shape on the top of the feather, and it was a little bit challenging. I just remembered that. But that's the only time I've ever done that. And so I didn't think the results were very good. She loved it. It worked because I just wanted it for the 1 year. And then the next year I just made hats that were the same color as the school colors. But yeah, if you've ever done this, let me know. Let me see, and let me know. Send me pictures. Let me know how it worked for you. All right. Oh, you know what? I see everybody clinking in, and I didn't clink. Clink in. Look at my Mr. Snowman with his mug. I just love this. All right, so that's your assignment. Let me know what works for you. All right? Okay, now, I had another person email me and ask me, I can't find you. Where are you online? Well, sweetie, I am everywhere. Okay, so the easiest way to find me is to go to my webpage. My webpage is very simple. It's basically what I call a portal. And you can go there and find a lot of the different places where I'm at. How do you find the webpage? If you look on every single picture that you've ever seen, you'll see my webpage address, www.poshpoochdesigns.com. All right? And I'll put that up above there for those of you on YouTube. You'll be able to see that later. If you go there, and it's also, if you're here on Facebook, you're going through my Facebook page. And at the top, you'll see where it says blog and all that kind of stuff. And if you go to the about, all my links are in there. Okay, so let me list you where I'm at. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Ravelry. I'm on Etsy. I'm on Craftsy. I'm on Pinterest. And I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Google Plus. And I'm also on LinkedIn. And those are just some of the places I am. I'm on some other ones. One of them's called Alignable or something like that I got added to. You can, I mean, if you go to my blog, right from the Facebook page, On the side there, there's a bunch of little buttons, and it also, you can click those buttons and it'll take you to all the places where I'm at. You can go to the web page, you can go to the blog. If you're on Facebook, go to the About page, you can find all my links. If you're watching this on YouTube, underneath the video, you'll see it either says say more or there'll be a little arrow. And you click that say, or see more, not say more. I always say more, say too much. You can click that see more, or you can click that little arrow, and a whole bunch of information will come down. That's where the blogs are located, and that's also where all the links for everywhere that I am is located. Okay, last but not least, if you just can't find me, just Google Sara Sach at Posh Pooch Designs, and all kinds of silly stuff comes up. Have you ever tried to Google your own name like that? I was kind of surprised because I found myself and my things in places I wasn't expecting it. Okay. Those of you who are new and wonder why I use a straw in my coffee, it's because my dentist told me to. She said, you can either stop drinking coffee or you can drink it with a straw because your teeth are getting, worn out from all the acid in the coffee. And so she gave me a special toothpaste and told me to start using a straw because I'm not going to stop drinking coffee. All right, let's go back down here and see who's all checked in here. We stopped at Tina Louise. She was our winner for our calendar last month. And I will tell you, I've got something in the works and we just may be having another yarn giveaway. I hope so. We're still in the works with it, and I'll let you know probably next week if we're going to do it. And of course, we'll have something in January, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Amber Lee, Aurora, Karen, and Carol Smith. Carol asked me, how do I keep track with all of them? I have a wonderful husband. And one thing that I do, my kids are grown. You know, they both have families of their own, and they both actually have their own businesses. And what I do, I love to get up early in the morning, and with some of my medications, I have to get up and take them early, and then I have to wait an hour before I can have coffee. And so what I do in that hour is I just go to all the different places, and of course I get emails, and I check all of them. But yeah, it is a lot of work to keep up with them, but I sort of view this is my job, and this is how I support myself, and this is how I take care of my dogs as well. And you know what? Last week you didn't get to see my dogs. Let me pop them over there. There's Max and Rosie. Max is cleaning his feet, and Rosie's passed out. They are precious puppies, but they are getting old and they have a lot of vet bills. And because I've used them as my models and things like that, that what I do helps support their vet bills. So yeah, Max has had to have a lot of teeth removed, bless his heart. So anyway, it is a lot of work, but I love what I do. I mean, if you thoroughly enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like work. Yes, sometimes I get frustrated. Like yesterday afternoon, I said to my husband, I said, I've had the Mondayest Monday that a Monday can be, because I had a really rough morning just answering some questions. And, you know, it's kind of surprises me. I'm going to say this in a really kind of nice way without it sounding harsh. It surprises me how negative people can be about crochet. It just surprises me. And sometimes when people say something, and I know some people are just, I don't know, trolls or whatever you call them, that just think it's funny to go on YouTube and say silly things and inappropriate things. And I know that goes on, but sometimes it just really hurts, you know, when they say something and you're thinking, why did you say that? That doesn't even make sense. And of course I have filters and a lot of that stuff. My husband takes care of, and I don't even see a lot of the negativity, because anything that has any cussing or bad words or anything inappropriate, because unfortunately it's out there. A lot of that stuff's just not posted, and I love that, so I don't have to deal with that. But I just view. Crystal says our animals are our world. They sure are. You know, after my kids grew. You know, we had dogs with the kids. We had one dog named Angel. She was a black lab, and she was amazing. You know, she got bad arthritis in her legs, and it got to the point where she couldn't even move. And so we had to, let her go over the Rainbow Bridge. She was the best dog we ever had. And my husband and I said, we're never getting dogs again. That was so heartbreaking. But, when you love animals, you just can't do that. And so I was able to rescue these 2 Chihuahuas with the help of my sister. But anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the thing about crochet is crochet, to me, and the love of yarn, as you can see, has opened up a world of friends to me. I don't care whether you're tall or short or chubby like me. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care anything about anything of those things. To me, crochet is a way, it's a whole crochet community because we love stitches. We love crochet. We love talking about yarn and yarn thicknesses. And we all have questions. And crochet is an art. And it's an ever-changing art. And I say that all the time. Crochet and even knitting is an ever changing art. They're always coming up with new yarns and new techniques. And a lot of things that I learned many years ago, because those of you who know me, I've been crocheting for over 40 years. And things I learned all those years ago are like coming back with new names. And I love that. I think it's fun. And one of the other things that I think is so much fun is when young people want to learn to crochet. Young, I mean like in their 20s. To me, that's young. I told my age on here one time. People were like, no way. So I like to say it because that way you'll tell me I look young. I'm going to be 56 this year in February. And I don't care. To me, my mom always said, you're only as old as you act. My husband says that makes me 13. Okay, enough silliness. Let's get to some new projects. If you look behind me here, I have this gorgeous shawl. And that yarn is amazing. I used all of it, or almost all of it, so I don't have the tube with me. That's a yarn from Hobium Yarns that they sent to me. It is the most gorgeous yarn. It's a number 2, which is a DK weight, sport weight here in America. And it is absolutely stunning. It moves from a cream to a white to a silver to a gold. And the yarn has a sparkle all the way through it. And so I designed this wrap shawl, and I called it the Comfort and Joy because it is a comfort to wear a wrap shawl, and it's a joy to wear it because it's so light, and it's the perfect shawl for any of your holiday parties, your Christmas office party or your New Year's Eve party, all the way through Valentine's Day because of that sparkle. It is just gorgeous. It's a free pattern on my blog, and you'll also find the blog or the video on YouTube. And again, if you're ever looking, you see something you want to see the video for, just go to YouTube and go to my YouTube page, and at the top you'll see it says playlist. Just click that playlist and it'll have all the categories. Like if you're looking for how to crochet, I have 12 lessons on how to learn to crochet. I have shawls and wraps, I have hats, I have all kinds of stuff, and you'll be able to find it in there as well. Or you can just Google the name of the pattern and that'll come up as well. So that's one that we did last week, and we've been working on it for a while because I wanted it to be a little whiter than a regular wrap, but I didn't want it to be heavy, like shawls. Because to me, I think of a shawl as just a warm hug of a shawl, And so I didn't want that one to be that way. I wanted it to be classy and gorgeous. Okay, Kimberly says she loves my snowman hat. Now, this is the snowman hat that I wrote a few years ago, and you can see it has the Colorado, there it is, symbol on it. And I had a lot of people ask me if I had it in smaller sizes. So what I decided to do is to go ahead and have the pattern retested, and we tweaked it up a little bit as well, and we made it to have 3 sizes. The one that I'm wearing is the adult size, and that goes up to 22 inches. And it's a little big on me. I have a little bit small of a head. But it just depends on how you like to wear your hats. You might want to wear them a little smaller. This one is the medium size, which is for what I call youth. And I believe it's like 18 to 20 inches. But keep in mind, hats stretch, and they also stretch as you wash them. So keep that in mind when you're making hats. And this is the child size, and it's 16 to 17, I believe, inches. But you can find those on the blog, and also we did a YouTube video. We updated everything, and it's just, and I wanted to make sure that you could see that you don't have to make it in the Colorado stripes if you don't want to. You can do any colors that you want. All right, so that's that. Please hold the shawl up so we can see it. Let me see if I can grab it. I didn't want my mannequin to fall over. Here's the stitches. Can you see the sparkle in that? It is just gorgeous. I'm trying to get it so you can see the sparkle. And it's a really simple pattern. It alternates between V-stitches and shell stitches. Just gorgeous. All right, I must have set that on the ground. All right, so the other thing that we did was yesterday I did the candle koozie, or cozy, however you want to call it. One of my dear friends, their family celebrates the Kwanzaa celebration. And every year they do the candle lighting. And if you've never studied what the Kwanzaa celebration is, I really think that you should. And I wrote a blog about this particular luminary. And I put a link in there, but there's also there's videos on YouTube and everything. And her mom wanted to have the Kwanzaa celebration at her home. But her mom lives in an assisted care facility. And in this facility, and like a lot of apartments, they're not allowed to have a lit candle. And the Kwanzaa celebration, the candle is lit each day, similar to Hanukkah. And so my friend asked me if I could come up with one of the luminaries to represent the Kwanzaa candles for her mom. And the reason is, when you make these luminaries, we add these little LED lights inside to light up the, I'm trying to make it so you can see the light up. Let's see. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see that. There we go. But anyway, there it goes. But that way you can light it up and have something to celebrate Kwanzaa with. She wanted to have the party at her house this year. My friend, I think she's in her 60s, and her mom is in her 90s, and she has some amazing stories to tell. So, but I wanted to also make it so anyone could use the pattern. And this pattern's a little bit different. It's done striping up and down, and we have these rows with chain ones in between so the light can come through. And then we made yellow on the top to resemble the flame. And this one I just did in silver. I'm going to put both of these back on my piano. I had my piano earlier. And I wanted to do it so anybody could use this pattern as well. And I did this as a favor to my sweet friend. I'm not going to tell you her name, just, because she just didn't really want to. But when we first moved here to Colorado, I met her at church. And she is like one of the most amazing women. And not only that, she's an amazing knitter. And her and I, talking about yarn, just sort of knit together and became kindred spirits. But lately I hadn't got to see her. So when she contacted me about this, her husband passed away and some things have been going through in her life. But anyway, when she contacted me about this, I was just so excited. And I thought, what an opportunity for me to learn about the Kwanzaa celebration. And so I did. And it's really an amazing and wonderful thing. I got to learn about Hanukkah and the traditions last year. And I'm the kind of person I really enjoy learning these things. And I think that everyone should. It's a lot of fun. And it's neat to see the traditions. And there's so many things that we can learn from things that we don't know. When we lived in Germany, I learned a lot about the German traditions, which are really, really neat as well. Let's talk about some new yarn. Now, this isn't brand new yarn, but it was yarn I got on sale. And the reason I bought it, Bernat Yarnspirations blanket yarn. This is a number 6. And the reason I'm holding this up is because we're going to be doing in January, I'm going to call it the blanket month. And that's because January is always a really cold month, usually here. Not always. I mean, who knows nowadays. But anyway, we're going to be doing some blankets. And I've got a couple new blankets. Remember I talked about the take-along blanket, which is a car blanket, which we're going to be using this with. Actually, I have a different, anyway, it's going to be Bernat blanket yarn. But anyway, we're going to be doing some new blankets, and we're going to be doing some that I have written in the past, but I don't have videos for. So we're going to be retesting and updating some new blanket patterns. And I'm sure I'll be doing some other videos as well. You know me, I love to video and make new items. But anyway, January is going to be the month of the blankets. And so that's why I've got my burnout blanket yarn here today. Now, Michael's had this yarn for buy one, get one free. And I bought 2 different colors. Let me grab this other one because I think these 2 colors go really good together. Yeah, brown and cranberry. And that's for my living room couch. I'm going to make a nice big fuzzy blanket so that when we have guests over and it's cold, they can just wrap up in that big fuzzy blanket. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is we're almost finished with our year-long crochet along the Harmony sample blanket. We have one more stitch to do. We'll do that in, I think, a week from Friday, or a week from Monday, a week from next Monday, 2 weeks. Anywho, we have our last stitch for our Harmony sample blanket. And so we're going to be starting something new. And I have kind of an idea that I want to do 6-inch squares and to do it all in one color. And so what I want to do, and each month we'll do a new square, and you'll have to do several of that square. And then at the end of the year we can put it together and make a blanket. But what I want to do is, I think the term is monochromatic. Have the squares start with something simple, and then each month we move up just a little bit, make it just a little bit more complicated. And then by the end, and you'll make, I think it's either 3 or 4 of each square. I'm gonna have to look at my notes, but I'll give you more information when I get it all designed and thought through. But what it will be one new square each month. It's just going to be a 6-inch square, but I think it's 4. You'll need to make 4 of them. And I'm going to have all the yarn worked out, and then I'm going to put together 2 kits. I'm thinking of doing a blue kit and a lavender kit. And then what I'll do is I'll give those 2 kits away. And if you win those 2 kits, you're going to have to do the crochet along. But what my thought is, I would give one away to my Facebook friends and 1 kit away to my YouTube friends. And that way you can each have an opportunity to win. And you know how we always do. You can go back and forth from YouTube to Facebook and comment. And I just choose from the comments. And of course, that's going to be in January. And I'll probably get all the information out to you the middle of January, and then we'll start the end of January. Because I like to do the crochet along stuff when I do a monthly crochet along on the last Monday of each month. It doesn't always work out that way depending on how holidays land and days off and stuff, but that's kind of the way I like to do it. I have this thing where I love to be over organized, and then I try to be over organized, and then something comes up and then I have to change my whole way of thinking. But it's okay. It's totally okay, but like I said, it's going to be monochromatic. It's going to all be one color. Each month we'll have a different square that you'll have to make 4 of, and we're going to begin with a easy square and move up more complicated each month. That way you can learn some techniques and some different things that you can do with working with granny squares. And I like to call them Afghan squares because when I think of a granny square, I think of just a typical granny square. So we'll be doing some of those too, but I'm going to call it an Afghan square because we're going to make an Afghan. How about that? So it won't be a huge Afghan, and of course you can make as many as you want to of the squares each month. But I think that'll be a lot of fun, something just a little bit different than what we did this last year. Although I really enjoyed doing the Harmony sample blanket this year. So what I need from you is you need to start thinking about a name for our crochet along. I like giving things a name. It's fun. And so you can give me some names, some ideas, and I'll see if they work, for the crochet along. All right. So I think I've covered everything so far. And if you popped in at the end, remember, It'll always be on Facebook, or the video will always be on Facebook, and I'm going to put it over on YouTube. You can watch it as many times as you need to. And I always tell people it's okay to share. Share the video. The more people that we share, the more that will watch it. And then the more people that will fall in love with crochet and yarn like we have. Well, I hope y'all have a snowy, blowy day, but it's not too dangerous because I love the snow. And have a great, great week. Thanks for visiting with me today, and thank you for following Posh Pooch Designs. Because remember, I can't do this without you. Have a great week, everybody.